kind of one of these things where, you're working at it a couple hours a day, or you get the idea and you have to go create it, and then you maybe go a couple days and you don't get an idea, and then you get an idea and you have to go create it? How does all of that work for you personally?
For me, I have found that generally the best ideas come to me when I'm working more.
Mm-hmm.
So when I want to get myself in a writing mode, I like to try to stay there as long as it's productive.
Okay.
So when I'm not busy with something else, I'll say, all right, this week, I've got 3 or 4 days home. I'm going to get up in the morning, have a little coffee, a little breakfast, and I'm going to sit down and write. And I'm just going to write whatever the first thing that comes to my head. I'm not going to think about if it's good. I'm not going to think about if it's the right style or not. I'm just going to write something. And I've found that after you do that for a while, for me, 3 or 4 songs later, I get something really, really good. So it's kind of a quantity, and eventually you get quality.
Yeah.
Maybe that's my quantity.
Are you lyric first and then melody, or do you kind of do them together, or how does that work for you?
I would say I usually come up with kind of an idea musically first, for the most part, unless I already have. And like if I get lucky and I hear a line or I have something that I've sort of made a note of, I'll try to write from that. But I do like it to be like fairly spontaneous when I'm starting.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever comes to me first. Sometimes it's just like a chord progression or a rough idea of the style of song I want to write.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just sit down and play guitar, and whatever little riff comes out, that's cool. I like that. I'll write something around that. It just kind of depends on where the inspiration comes from.
Sure.
Different times, different places.
The band that you're playing with when you're Johnny Chops, is that how many pieces is that? Is that a kind of a solo thing? Do you do solo things, or is it more?
I do both. Yeah, I do some shows by myself. I do some as a duo. But when it's a band, it's Johnny Chops and the Razors, and it's guitar, bass, drums, and with a couple of backing vocals.
Do you find it's your songs make the transition between solo act and band act pretty easily?
Yeah, it takes a little bit of doing because I love arrangement. Like, I love arranging music, like finding, this part goes here and it happens at this point, and it adds another level to the song. I love layers in songs and production. So I love having that outlet. In the real world, I've found the last 2 years you can't always afford to have a 5 or 6 piece band.
Right, yeah.
But if I had if I had everything the way I want it to be all the time, I'd have 7 or 8 piece band all the time. But sometimes that economic pressure actually makes you be more creative. Like, well, I can only afford 1 or 2 players. How can I make the song interesting?
Right.
With just those 3 elements or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's fun and challenging both ways.
So this album is pretty current, pretty fresh, just out a couple months. Do you have kind of another one already in the works, or how do you gauge when you want to think about creating a new project? It ends up working out fairly organically, I'd say. Mm-hmm.
There's a few songs that didn't make it onto this current record that I'm still kind of in love with. I'll probably start with some of those. And then I'll pick a week that I have time and I'll start writing, see what I get. But I'm not in a big rush. It might be a couple more years. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It kind of depends on how busy I am the next couple of years. So that's the nice thing about having a kind of a project like this is I'm not under the gun to like come up with a new record.
Yeah, that's cool.
Right away. Or
yeah,
like
sure. That. Yeah. So if folks want to check out your music, want to get a copy of your the current record, want to communicate with you, what's the best avenues to get in touch?
My website is johnnychopsmusic.com. You can find me on Facebook, Johnny Chops Music. Instagram, you can find me on Johnny Chops RRB. Twitter, RRB Chops, all the social media stuff. But the website's good too. There's all kinds of good things on there. You can sign up for my email list and watch some videos. We even got some T-shirts and hats.
Cool.
And stuff like that.
Yeah, Cool. Well, thanks, Johnny. It's been great chatting with you and learning more about
man,
what you're up
thank
to.
you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. Look forward to talking again sometime.
Thanks again for tuning in to this episode of Americana Music Profiles. Find us on iTunes at Americana Music Profiles and on the internet at AmericanaRhythm.com.